it has produced an anthem around the globe, a soundtrack celebrated by millions. With each revolution of the trackball, players have long attempted to master Golden Tee golf. Power, accuracy, finesse, precision. The search for perfection has taken us here. The 2019 Golden Tee World Championship. The stage has never been brighter. The stakes have never been higher. The most gifted virtual golfers on the planet have their sights set on the $30,000 and a place among the game's legends. How close will we get to perfection, and who will emerge victorious? The championship starts now.
Welcome to the Ocho for the 2019 Golden Tee World Championship. We are here at the Orleans in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada for the biggest, most important Golden Tee tournament you've ever seen, certainly the biggest event in the 30-year history of the sport. We are taking over the showroom here, the greatest Golden Tee players in the world. Now, you know this game. You've seen it in more than 15,000 locations around the country, but you've never seen it played like this. I'm Adam Kramer, joined by Kevin Lindsay. You'll hear from Matt Van Hoosier in a second. Kevin, we talk about the skill of these guys and the ability for them to just dominate virtual golf. What are you expecting to see?
Honestly, you're going to see a lot of high-intensity action. These guys are the ones shooting those 33 underscores you see in the game and don't believe. You're going to view a lot of that here today. 33 under in 18 hole games. So if it doesn't go in the hole, it's not a hole-in-one. These guys aren't happy. But before we get into match play, let's get you caught up on what we saw. Day one of the event, the closest to the pin contest. We want to fill our field. We have 74 players. We left 2 spots, filling them in the Orleans. We saw Chris McKenzie and Rick Copperthorne come away victorious in that. Kevin, what did you notice from that? Honestly, we had 121 players for that event, which is absolutely wonderful.
Huge
and a lot of pressure on these guys to claim those last 2 spots.
And you look at the prize pool, $135,000 overall, powered by incredible technologies.
And these are the 16 guys that are vying for that $30,000 top prize.
We saw 33 unders in an 18-hole game of Golden Tee. We saw 32 under. We saw 30 others all over the place, so ridiculous scoring. But now the focus turns to match play. We got to give away $30,000. This is the best of the best. These are the best Golden Tee players in the world vying for the biggest title in Golden Tee. When you talk about the best of the best, Kevin, you talk about Mark Stenmark, a guy I think many consider to be the favorite to win this event, a guy that's won it before, a guy that's constantly featured in national tournaments. What do you like about Stenmark's game?
2017 world champion. When people talk about the Mount Rushmore of Golden Tee, they mention his name. Went a year and a half without losing a national tournament match. Not only was he winning tournaments, but he is winning matches left and right for over a year and a half. People do not want to face him in match play because that's how good he is.
Yeah, he's got like a stroke advantage off the tee. When you play him, it feels like he's got that kind of presence. A guy that carries a different kind of presence, Mark the Mouth McClevich. Charismatic, toes the line. The nickname really says it all with the mouth, but boy, is he fun to watch.
He's an outspoken guy. You'll definitely hear and see and feel when he hits the trackball. He hits the game really hard. He hits a good shot. You're going to hear it. Also, you're going to know when he hits a bad one because he's very vocal, and I think that's part of the fun about him.
Yeah, he moves around a lot. So many different playing styles, but the mouth is one of a kind. Joe Massara, a guy that has been so close, runner-up at the World Championships 2 years in a row. A guy that wasn't necessarily regarded as a match play player for a while, but that has changed obviously very quickly.
Yeah, you look at Joe's game, he is a thumb player. He will use the thumb to hit shots on that trackball that nobody would expect, and there's a reason why he was runner-up the last 2 years in a row.
Very calculated, a guy that has like a meteoric rise. Greg Kinsler, speaking of meteoric rise, well, his was a couple of decades ago. A guy that's won 2 world championships, a guy that's played a ton of Golden Tee, but not lately. So what do we expect to see from one of the most decorated players in the game?
Well, you talked about it, 2002 world champion, the very first Golden Tee world champion, won a second one in 2007. That was 12 years ago. He is a part-time player now. It's not his full-time gig. He took second place in Tournament of Champions in late 2018, and that really kind of started his rise back up to the top, and that's why he's here today, and he's playing well.
Yeah, he's still got game. I mean, a guy that's looking for just his first world champions, forget about 3, is Clint Grover. Really, it's a matter of time for him, right? This is a guy we've been following, and a guy that's just had some success on some of the smaller regional tournaments, but what do you expect to see from him on this bigger stage?
Well, you talk about Joe being a quiet guy. Clint Grover is the same. When he is in match play, he's got headphones on. He is just focused on his game. He's had a lot of top 4 finishes in the national tournaments over the last year or two. Never anything on as big of a stage as the World Championship, though.
Let's dive in and let's focus on a huge match in our top 16. Mark Stenmark versus Mark the Mouth McClevich, high-profile players with championship aspirations. You look at Stenmark here, just jamming it home to take a lead on the hole out. The Mouth trying to answer back here later in the match, not happy as he pushes his shot wide to the right, and then he follows that up by pushing his putt wide to the right. That means Stenmark moving on with a big win, Mouth off to the loser's bracket. Let's get you caught up. A former world champion in Greg Kinsler going up against a rising star in Clint Grover. We take you right out to the turn, hole 9, and Kinsler just slides that putt by. Grover, meanwhile, converts his short look for double eagle to take the lead.
Hole 13, Greg Kinsler down a stroke, needs to make it up somewhere. And look at this, one hop, right in the cup, hole in one for the former world champ.
He's done that before. He gets it. He's excited. He was dancing around the stage. Kinsler pumped up to potentially go a little bit farther. However, hole 18, those dreams end. Then Grover converts this putt from the fringe.
Clint Grover, he's on a run.
On fire. Massive, massive win for him. You do not want to miss what's coming. We'll be back to the Ocho after this.
Welcome back to the Ocho for the 2019 Golden Tee World Championship. I'm Kevin Lindsay, joined by Adam Kramer. Let's get back to the action.
A new face has emerged after defeating top players Ken Callis, Jeff Lannon, and two-time world champion Andy Haas. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Jared Decker.
Kevin, this isn't a guy that's been in necessarily the bar scene for as long as some of these other players. A guy that got good playing on his Golden Tee Home Edition. He's taken those skills here, and whether you wondered there'd be some jitters with match play or he'd be nervous, he has not shown it at all. He looks comfortable. He looks like he belongs.
He ran through a lot of solid players today to get where he is right now. Ken Callis from Michigan, two-time world champion Andy Haas. An upset there sent Haas to the loser side of the bracket, and then just defeated Jeff Lannon, another top 10 player out of Illinois. So he is on a path of destruction, and there might not be any stopping him.
No, but the problem is you just beat one former world champ. Now you got to beat another in Mark Stenmark, the guy that we've talked about that is probably the favorite to win this event. We head out to hole 14, where maybe the nerves getting the best of Decker as he misses the putt on the low side. Well, again, where he just misses it by the cup. Disappointing efforts there.
Things not looking too good for Decker, but he gets a break when Mark Stenmark takes his tee shot on the par 317 and puts it right in the water. Not a shot we typically see from the former world champ.
No, not at all. That's unusual to say the least, but Decker still needs to convert, still needs to take advantage. He does that with an awesome chip to take that lead.
Awesome but aggressive chip, and it pays off because hole 18 is set up beautifully. He just needs to get this on the green,
just stick it
right there,
almost
make his putt in.
Almost in the hole.
Almost in the hole, makes his putt in for eagle, and just like that, he's taken down the former world champ and Mark Stenmark.
Yeah, an upset I think a lot of people didn't see coming, and a tournament run that is really flourishing for a guy that we're learning a lot about. An update from the tournament in the bracket. Down goes Mark McClevich. The Mouth is out, loses to Andy Fox, former player of the year. Not the finish that Mouth wanted. The World Championship is going to have to come another year. However, it's a guy that knows the importance of this community. We sat down with him to talk about it.
My name is Mark McClevich, nicknamed The Mouth. The community as a whole, man, it's crazy. Every day I feel I had all these people at my wedding and all these Golden Tee players. I mean, I had 250 people at my wedding and 100 of them were these guys. It's fantastic. I mean, they've family for years. Man, I fake confidence a lot just because, you know, it's The Mouth, it's a persona. But the way I ended today, it's not fake. It's coming hard at them. I'm coming hard. I come to the tournaments as more of a public show to have fun with everybody. And looking back, man, I'm taking a look at stats and things at these tournaments, and you see how the top guys, Gossett, Luna, Haas, and Stenmark, win pretty much every tournament that they're all at. And they're the ones that aren't going out and having a blast with everybody. They're out of the bar by 10 o'clock. And some of us are there until 2:30 playing with everybody. I think that's more important than always just winning.
Great to hear from Mouth, but now it's time for the winners finals, aka the King of the Hill match. And Kevin, this is not the match we expected to see here.
No, this is the Cinderella story versus the dark horse, Jared Decker versus Clint Grover. Let's dive into the action.
We take you out to hole 3, where Jared Decker applying pressure right away, almost gets that one to jar. Hole 6, you're looking at the thumbs there. He does one better. Looks like it's close. It is in the hole, so takes an early lead on Clint Grover.
Hole 7, nice long dead center double eagle putt for Jared Decker, making up for some of the errors we saw earlier on in his evening.
And then here, it's just about brute strength, right? Sometimes you just got to get the driver, let the big dog eat. 400-yard drive to put the pressure on Clint Grover. Kevin, you've seen this shot before. When your opponent is on the green, it gives you a lot to think about. And now, really, the pressure is all on him.
Yeah, Jared had an amazing tee shot. Hopefully, Clint Grover can go ahead and follow suit. It looks like he just ends up short in the rough. Has a nice look at an eagle chip here, but not what he wanted to see after Decker lands it on the green.
Close. And that's a chip that these guys will make a lot. They make it look entirely too easy sometimes, but not there. And again, after those early putting struggles, able to convert. We blast to hole 14, where Decker, who was hot, not so much here, a little bit deep with his tee shot.
Yeah, so Clint Grover is going to need to take advantage of that bad tee shot from Decker. He's down a stroke going into the later holes, and look at that. He's going to hit a high tee 4-wood on almost the green, almost right in the cup.
Yeah, not only did he put the pressure on Jared with his chip, he almost holed that thing out and really flipped this match around. So it's really obvious here. We saw Jared make a big chip earlier. Not so much here. Just slides by.
Yeah, right on by the right-hand side. You're looking at Jared Decker on hole 18, though. Beautiful tee shot after Clint Grover carried his ball too far in the sand. So this is a do-or-die chip for Clint. Otherwise, Jared Decker's moving on as king of the hill.
A little bit uphill elevation, just a little too strong, which means Jared Decker, once again, unbeaten in the finals. And if you're going to win the World Championship, you're now going to have to go through Jared Decker, which is something the loser side of the bracket is going to try to do.
Yeah, two of those guys, Greg Kinsler, former world champ, Jeff Lannon, another top player from Illinois.
Top player, great game, guy that's just looking for his breakthrough.
These guys are all tied up through 18 holes. Now taking a look at hole 2, sudden death.
Yeah, sudden death here. You drop a shot, you are most likely out. And Jeff Lannon here, disappointing short on that. Kinsler battled his way back into this. Not something you often see in these matches with these players this skilled. Needs to stick the green, really, and put the pressure on Lannon.
Yeah, he's going to take what he saw Jeff do, and he's going to adjust his shot, which he does, hits it out to the right side of the green, and he makes his putt in for eagle. And Jeff Lannon is eliminated by Greg Kinsler. Now Greg Kinsler moves on to take on Mark Stenmark as we move up through the bracket.
And that gives us a battle of Golden Tee Titans. Greg Kinsler, Mark Stenmark, 3 world championships between them. Kinsler, maybe not playing as much, but on hole 1 here on Agave Ranch, it does not show. From the sand to the dirt, puts it in the hole, puts the pressure on Stenmark.
Stenmark is not used to the pressure being applied to him so early on in a match, but not one to stray away from trying to make a chip of his own. A little bit different than Kinsler's approach. He is in the rough, so he's going to have a little bit more methodical approach to his shot here. Same thing here on hole 14, although a bit more difficult of a chip. Barely misses it to the right edge of the cup. He's going to show that look of disappointment because he putts in for birdie. Knows that he cannot give up strokes like that to Mark Stenmark.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're playing Stenmark. He's going to get into kind of the control golf mode. He's not going to miss many of these. He doesn't miss that one there. Once he gets an advantage, which he has on hole 18, tough to beat. Kinsler here, Kevin, he's got to drain this thing.
Yeah, not a good situation for him here. He knows that he's down a few strokes, and unless Mark Stenmark makes a bad mistake, probably going to walk away here with 4th place.
And look, most of us, a 260-yard club to carry 313 yards, you'd look at that as a bold move. Not for him, though. Not only does he get it there, he almost puts it in the hole. Or hasn't played as much. Just an awesome showing at the 2019 World Championship for Mark Stenmark. He's got more games to play. And then there were 3. Jared Decker is just waiting to see who he's going to play. And before we get to that finals match, we go to hole 15, and this outcome, not similar at all. Just unlucky, really. Stenmark with a 1-stroke advantage, trying to be aggressive, but hits that cactus, which means Grover's got an opening.
Yeah, takes his shot into the fairway. He has no other option. Now, Mark Stenmark, we've seen him do this before. He's going to get creative and try to get as close as possible to maintain that lead.
You're resigned to the fact that you're probably giving up a stroke. At least most mortal Golden Tee players would be giving up a stroke. But you see Stenmark here with just a thumb shot, lets his ball in, and look at that, right in the center of the pin. And if you're Grover, You fist pump, you shake your head, and you say, you know what? That's how the best in the world do it.
Yeah, you can't get much better than a recovery eagle shot from the fairway.
So here on hole 18, we look at Grover down in this match. He's got to make something happen or hope for a Stenmark. The stake here, a really good shot on a tough pin. Yeah, this is not a shot that pretty much anyone in the world would try in this situation, yet he's so comfortable. You see him turn away and fight his ball into the wind and put it close. Again, if you're Clint Grover, you tip your cap, you make your putt, you shake his hand, and you congratulate Mark Stenmark on making yet another world championship.
An amazing run by Clint Grover. He takes third place in a string of national victories, and obviously doing it on the world championship stage is another notch in Clint Grover's belt.
With 2 players left, the pressure could not be any higher. There's never been more at stake. Stay tuned to find out who will be your 2019 Golden Tee World Champion. With only 1 match left, let's find out who will be crowned champion.
And then there were 2, and Kevin, they are 2 familiar players, Jared Decker and Mark Stenmark, 2 Texans. We were talking about Mark Stenmark leading up to this event. Jared Decker is making a name for himself here. And look, he beat Stenmark earlier in the tournament, which means, because he's undefeated, Mark Stenmark's going to have to beat him twice.
Jared Decker might look calm here, but he's got a chance to finish out his Cinderella story and make Golden Tee history. But he's got to go through Mark Stenmark in order to do that.
Yeah, easier said than done, of course. And if you're Stenmark, you want to apply pressure. You look at hole 8 here, and Stenmark is doing just that, ramming home a massive par 3, and all of a sudden, Jared Decker is chasing shots. He's got to gain ground here.
Mark Stenmark here on hole 13 trying to add to that lead, just a little short of the hole though.
Yeah, not bad. Guy trying to protect his lead. You want to be safe. Jared Decker now in a position that he needs to erase this deficit. He needs to be aggressive. You see him here apply release to his shot, and bam, slams it into the cup with his driver.
All right, and we transition over to hole 18 where Jared Decker needs a miracle here. A lot of water. He wants to avoid it and drop this in the cup.
Yeah, the problem here is you're down 3 to Stenmark. And ultimately, you hit a great shot there. You need Stenmark to really mess this hole up, and we know how rare that kind of moment is.
Yeah, Stenmark's going to take his 5 wood. Not only does he hit an aggressive shot, but he almost nails it to seal the deal on game 1.
Because Decker was undefeated, Stenmark is going to have to beat him again in this double elimination format. We head to the ultimate grand finals on Catadreas Beach. Let's go.
All right, things are all square going into hole 15. A drivable par 4. You're going to see these guys carry over the rock and hope for a short putt. Not the case for Decker here, but not unmakeable.
No, this is a guy, he's made a lot of these putts, and bam, all the pressure, this winner-take-all match, was able to sink one there. Huge, huge shot.
Now, unfortunately for Mark Stenmark, hit his shot a little bit too far to the right, so now he's chipping out of the rough, and he's got to be careful.
Yeah, we've seen him make this chip hundreds of times over the year, just hit that lip, popped over, and missed on the low side.
Now you got to take a look at Jared Decker. He's now going up to hole 18 with a 1-stroke lead. He's got to play it safe here.
Yeah, tough look, tough pin, $30,000, all of that. And look at this.
Oh, wow.
Gift from the Golden Tee gods. He knows it, too.
You can see the look on his face.
Yeah, if that goes in, this game, this match, this tournament is over.
Now, not a difficult shot for Mark Stenmark, but he's got to stick it close.
Yeah, he hits a lot of these shots left to right? That's his game. Decker, maybe a little bit different. And look, this is it. Stakes here. You make this, and you win.
And just a bit out to the left, you can see the disappointment in his face, because if Stenmark makes his putt, we're going into sudden death for the 2019 World Championship.
Sudden death, overtime. Now all of a sudden, if you're Decker, just be careful, knock this shorty in. And like you said, it's time for sudden death. Overtime in competitive Golden Tee looks something like this. Sudden death. Kevin, this is not a traditional 18-hole game.
No, these guys are going to play the same course, Catadreas Beach, with new conditions.
New winds, new pins, new stakes. You gain a stroke, you hole out. You lose a stroke by making a mistake, your tournament could be over.
Yeah, we're either going to get a brand new world champion, or Mark Stenmark is going to join the list of very little that have 2 world championship victories.
11 holes later, and we are still all square in sudden death. An epic Golden Tee World Championship. You see Stenmark here, Kevin, not showing where his ball lands. A little psychology, playing with Jared Decker's head a little bit. Doesn't want to give out any intel.
Yeah, but after 45-plus holes of Golden Tee, this is very competitive. Decker going to hit the same type of shot, just wants to get it right between those rocks and have a potential chip for double eagle.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is fall behind one of those rocks, right? And here, that little bad bounce, bad shot, that could mark the end of your tournament.
Stenmark here, not a real chance of making it in, but pretty straightforward putt left for him.
Yeah, and this really is about, now here, you think maybe it can go in. Nerves start to get with it. You want to be safe. Above all, you just don't want to lose the match, right?
Yeah, you don't want to get too aggressive, catch one of those rocks, or even bounce into the water.
Be careful. Even these short little putts here, which these guys are so robotic with, they need to take a little bit more time. Moving to hole 12, as you see Decker looking on. A lot of trouble here on this hole.
Yeah, drivable par 4, but a big elevation change near the bottom of the green there. Mark Stenmark just cutting into the wind. Flirting with trouble there, but he lands on the first cut of the green.
Probably a little closer than he wanted to be. You saw him swerve the ball in from right to left. I think Jared would prefer not to flirt with that hazard there on the right side.
Yeah, 11-mile-an-hour wind, but Decker with those thumbs that have gotten him this far so long, just right there on the green. That's a great putt.
I thought it was maybe going to be a little short for a minute, and that would have all but ended it. Here, if you're Stenmark, you're putting from the fringe, it'll slow it down. See him put a little force behind it to make sure that ball goes in the hole.
Decker here set himself up, really nice eagle putt. We're moving on to hole 13.
Yeah, tricky little par 3. You've got a rock wall in the way, and you've got 2 tiers, Kevin. And what Mark wants to do here is not go down to that bottom tier because that could spell trouble. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, Decker is going to try to follow suit. He wants to make sure he stays up there, leaves himself a short putt, because if he goes down there, it gets dangerous.
Oh, that's trouble.
Now, he got lucky. There's a chance that could have went in the water, but this chip is make or break.
Yeah, he knows it, and he knows that he has to basically make this chip to stay alive.
That's heartbreaking for Decker.
Scoots by, the handshake there. He pretty much knows what is up. All Mark has to do now is tap in a short putt, and he is your world champion. And there you have it. Mark Stenmark is victorious, your 2019 Golden Tee World Champion. Kevin, what does this mean for his legacy?
Stenmark joins a short list of players who have 2 World Championship victories, and he cements his spot on Golden Tee's Mount Rushmore.
An epic tournament, an epic marathon finals. Let's go to the stage and hear from our champion.
You know, I tried. I gave it a couple chances to go in. He gave it a couple chances to go in before that, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy, and hats off.
Can you try to summarize in words what the second World Championship here means for you personally, I guess?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's basically what I've worked for the past 12 years playing this game, playing it religiously. Obviously, most of us here do, and I mean, it's just to get a second one. I mean, it means the world to me. I joined the ranks of Greg Kinsler and Andrew Haas and Chris Eversole, who couldn't be here, but it means a lot to me.
What an event. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For Kevin Lindsay, I'm Adam Kramer. We will see you next year at the Golden Tee World Championship.
The stage was set, and the players did not disappoint. We saw heartbreak, upsets, crushing defeats, nail-biting victories, and dreams realized. Jared Decker made a name for himself, and Mark Stenmark cemented his legacy. Who will step out of the shadows next year and take their place in the spotlight? Could it be you?